Welcome to the Mulligan Menace. Today we're going to play another KONA deck. This one is a little different though. This is like a KONA Reanimator. I believe I saw a YouTube player, Swayze, play something very similar. I actually copied his list. It's just slightly different. If you look on it though, the whole idea here is to reanimate spells either from your graveyard or dropping them from your hand utilizing KONA. When you look at this, the big difference in this deck is using this Broodheart engine. Utilizing the Broodheart engine, you can pull stuff out of your graveyard and put it onto the battlefield. Now, that can come into play in a couple different ways. If you have a Ardyn in your graveyard, you can actually activate this before the combat phase. Have your Ardyn pull back from your graveyard. You can pull something out of your graveyard. Ideally, you have something like a Cactuar in your graveyard. And if the opponent doesn't have two creatures, it comes in with Menace and Lifelink, and it's going to be a huge creature, so you could just win on the spot with something like that. A lot of one-offs. We got the Bahamut. We have obviously the Terror Eater. That's always the common one in this one. We have a Virtue. Gulta. This is a great one to pull out of your hand. You can just drop everything that's in your hand. That's a creature. Obviously, we have 3 Ardens. Knights of the Round. This is a nice one to have on the battlefield. The other things with this is it's an enchantment. So it has some synergies with the Windswept Basin. You can actually copy it and create additional tokens with it. And then to fill your hand back up, we have a Prime Speaker, Zagana. Station targets, Siriyama. This also can find your KONA when you need it, as well as we have obviously the 2 lands that are also stations. You also have the Void Altar, which you can utilize to draw cards. You can sacrifice your tokens from something like the Knights of the Round, so it's not that big a deal. To fill your graveyard, we do have the Loner here. She does a great job of doing this. You can station her up so she's tapped on the second main phase. It allows you to actually be able to fill up your graveyard with those threats that you need. Get an Ardyn in there. I always would like to try to make sure I have one of these in my hand and one in the graveyard. Ideally, Ardyn is cast from the graveyard before the combat phase using the engine. The other thing we have is a Phoenix Down. This allows you to get Konas that are in the graveyard. So if they target removal Kona, it's not that big of a deal. You almost have basically 4 Konas in your deck by utilizing this. The nice thing is when you do return target creature card with mana cost 4 value or less from your graveyard, it enters tapped, which means if you do that before your second main phase, Kona comes in tapped, even if you don't have a station. And it can be Summoning Sickness, and it'll be in tap, which works perfectly because then you can trigger it and put anything down from your hand. This is a pretty interesting list from what I saw. The games that I've got to witness, it was very decision laden. So we'll see how that goes. If you like these videos, please hit the subscribe button. I'm hitting a new video every day of the month. Enjoying putting this content out for everybody, and your subscription helps in doing so. Otherwise, let's get into the gameplay. All right, we go first. We can drop lands. Unfortunately, we just have basic forest until we get something else going on here, but we'll keep it. We have the Surveil, which is nice. The Phoenix Down can pull back if we do drop a Kona in the graveyard with the Surveil. Really looking for a swamp. There we go. Okay, if we can surveil a Kona this turn, that'll be insane. We're on a race here. Unfortunately, that's not a Kona. Get another one. We can surveil twice. Might as well get that down too. We'll be able to get a threat down there. Maybe we can do an Ardyn or something. That might be decent. Give us a blocker. We'll be able to pull. We really need to get our life gain. Ouch. Down to 6 already. Okay. Let's see what we can get here. Got the KONA. All right. We might actually have a decent turn, but the problem is we don't have any lifelink. Okay, so we got the KONA in the graveyard. It's not a bad one to keep in our hand. Okay, well, we can drop. We can get this into play, but that isn't going to be fast enough. That's not going to do a whole lot. That's about all we got to... We can't even... Yeah, we're going to have to do it that way, unfortunately. Get the Ardyn in play. Oh, we'll see if we can do it. They got destruction in their hand. We're pretty hosed. I'm okay if they focus it on our creatures. To a certain extent, I should say. That hurts. I have to block. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to block here. Okay. That's not going to do it. Another Ardent. Well, let's get Ardent down. We'll bring in that to destroy that. I mean, anything he has in his hand basically does us in. That's just lifelink, so there we go. We'll gain a little life. I think we might actually have this with the lifelink. Get this into play, and now we're actually looking pretty good. I came out of there thinking we were in trouble. Forgot that it has lifelink. All right. All right. And we got it. Good game. All right, let's look at this. We got lands. We do have our KONA station as well. We got some good cards in our hand. We'll keep it. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Let's start with a tap land. Get our starting towns down next. That's That's fine. Okay, we're gonna kill that. Ooh, we got the hexproof. All right, we're in a bit of a hurry now. We shouldn't have tossed that. We should have kept that in our hand. We should have put this in graveyard. Need untapped. Drop the KONA. Station. We do need to drop this just so we can destroy. End the turn. Keep it untapped. Yeah. It's not the worst. Surveil. Only land. We're gonna station KONA. This makes it kind of interesting because it can't really block or can't attack very good. Oh, it doesn't have menace. Never mind. I keep thinking it's having menace because of the ability of this to pull it out of the graveyard. End turn. See what they do. Oh, okay. Not the worst. We're gonna gain life as well this turn. Auto pay. Okay. What do we want in our hand is the question. Maybe something that allows us not to die. Just in case they got the tricks. My graveyard. We will attack with that. Enter. They gave it up. Good game. All right, let's look at this. We are a KONA short of this hand being pretty good. Let's keep it. Start with the station since it's tapped. We'll let them kill that if they want. We do want to get one of the cactuars in the graveyard. Interesting. All right. We really want to get one of these in the graveyard now, unfortunately. What do we want to do here? I get a KONA, but I'm thinking that might be the goal here. Let's do this. If we end up getting... Alright. If we end up getting an untapped land, this will end up really good. Oh, never mind. We're not konaing with 2 empty land here. Although we could get away with it, to be honest with you. Especially now with it on the top. I gave it up. All right, let's take a look here. We got 2 land. Would like to start with 3, but that's okay. We do have a KONA, but we turn 3 station. We can do a turn 3 station, turn 4 KONA if we can get the land. Otherwise, we could turn 3 Phoenix. Let's try for the turn 3 Phoenix as long as they have a creature. Pay 2 life with the Phoenix. Because we can actually Bitter Triumph their creature. Oh, this just made it kind of interesting. And if we... Can't cast on their turn. Alright, well. We'll discard a card. So as long as they don't remove our artifact, we'll be able to bring KONA back. Unfortunately, they're probably going to have removal kept up for it. I want to get some stuff in the graveyard. The nice thing is I can keep this open until the end of their turn. So I have to keep some land open until I choose to use this. We're going to use it. I mean, we're got to get that other hand regardless. So we can get another KONA with the Suriyama. We're going to get another one because they're going to kill it. They know we have the second one, unfortunately. Well, that was interesting. I am gonna put this so I can bring in multiple. We're gonna kill this shocking recording. Just so he has no tricks up his sleeve. And we're gonna end the turn. And that should pretty much do it. Unless they got something crazy like a sweep. I don't think they were expecting the Gulta to fall. Alright, they don't got the sweep. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Yeah, we'll destroy that. I mean... Sure, tap. Alright, good game. Alright, let's take a look here. We have a ton of station things. We can pull a KONA into our hand with that, although we don't have the second white for that. We can get things in our graveyard with this. Yeah, let's keep it. We'll get that second white in there. Start with the tap land. We're going to play this next, followed by the loner. We can station right away. Yes. Let's go for... Wow, this might actually be a little bit of a different pick here. Actually tempted to grab this just so I can start destroying stuff. Let's do that. Next turn we can get a KONA in our hand. Are they sitting on a counter? I should have stationed before that. These are open to die. That might not be that bad actually either. But we need stuff to pull from the graveyard. We need to get that out. Why am I not grabbing the KONA? I need the KONA. That was a flip. Silly play on my part. We'll do that tapped. We'll cast this for another one. Auto pay. We'll get the KONA. We'll see what they do here. Basically turn off all my plays at this point, unfortunately. Well, at this point, I'm hoping to draw something. Well, actually, this isn't that bad. I can drop this and put anything out. Well, KONA's coming out. Here, we don't want to take damage. We'll drop. That's going to be a tough one for them. We'll go ahead and do it with that. We don't want to take too much damage. We'll see what they can do here. I don't think they got a whole lot they can do with that little of mana. Well, we'll see here. I sacrifice a creature? Yeah, sure. I think this game's pretty much wrapped up at this point. He needs 2 creatures just to block this alone. Hopefully it'll let me go through the attack phrase, because then I'll do an awful lot of damage to them. Yeah, we'll discard a card. Still need 2 creatures to block that. Good game. Well, this deck was pretty neat to play. I actually like this variation of the KONA build. Really realizing that KONA is almost the secondary target. You really want to try to get that Broodheart engine down early. Be able to do that. I found so many times that I'd have an Ardyn in hand and KONA in play, but you need this down earlier before combat. Uh, really realize that Galta is just awesome having in your hand in a lot of those situations. So if you're dropping Siriyama, it might be a good idea to get a Galta if you have other stuff in your hand because you can drop multiple things. Um, I was surprised with just how many decisions there were during the game on what card to play at what time and what card to put in the graveyard at different times of the game. So this is a very this is not a cruise control type deck. You definitely have to think a lot when you're playing this deck and get a lot of play out of it. This is obviously my first run with the deck, so don't have a lot of gameplay to this, but it definitely is a challenging deck to play and a lot of different decision trees to make on this to be successful because I'm sure you could get a lot faster plays than I even had. But we want to just highlight the deck and all the features that it really has in this. This deck is a fun one to play just because you have all those really neat decisions to make. So it, as I mentioned earlier, hit that subscribe button, putting new videos out constantly every day this month. So if you want to see the latest content, the latest deck lists that are out there and you're going to be seeing on Magic Arena, you'll be able to hit the subscribe button and do so. Otherwise, have a great day.